There's nothing that looks like a schooner under sail. Oh my God, it's beautiful.
I get paid to go barefoot and play on a boat, and I work with a really great bunch of people.
I stay because I love it.
I started out as a tour guide. I became really interested in the Dove and found out that there was a volunteer crew.
Finally.
Picked naval architecture as my major at school, so I think it really pushed me in that direction for what I want to do for the rest of my life even.
I wanted to get some more time on the water and wanted to learn about different sailing vessels.
I've been interested in maritime history since I was a little kid. My dad was a riverboat captain.
If I were to have a bumper sticker on my truck, it would say I'd rather be sailing, particularly historic sailing vessels, large and small.
All right, well, the Maryland Dove is a recreation of a mid-17th century merchant ship. The sort of vessel that was typical during the heyday of St. Mary's as the capital of Maryland. So we're talking 1660s or 70s, maybe up to about 1680.
The original Dove had a crew of 7 to 9, depending on how you interpret the crew list. But we find that with 7 knowledgeable, able-bodied people, we can sail the vessel. 9 is a handier number. 12 is still a good number, and 15 is not too many.
Mainsail haul.
I think in general there are a number of reasons why people think colonists came over. I think most people categorize these with G words: God, gold, glory. Many of the folks who come over on these initial voyages are recruited. And we don't often think about that as a motive for why people are coming, partly because it's not very noble. The fact that you weren't itching to come to America, but rather that you sort of had to be pulled, isn't as romantic for us.
My wife sucked me into it accidentally, I think.
They said, "Come on down, we're going to rig up the ship." Then they put us all to work, and then Mike even...
What do you mean put us all to work?
Yeah.
I remember thinking that it was like, it sounded like paint drying, and sure enough, after we'd been there for 5 or 10 minutes, it was like paint drying watching this process. And so don't you remember I asked, do you mind, well, first, did you want to stay? And you said yes, and then I said, well, okay, well, you mind if I go help them out? And I said, fine, I'll just sit here and watch. Next thing I know, I'm looking at my watch, it's like 5 or 6 in the afternoon, she's long since gone, and I came back the next day and been coming back ever since.
The worst thing, I think I said this, the worst thing is it's not on the ocean, which is really sad. But not being on the ocean is what makes this program what it is, and this program is wonderful.
One of the key differences between the Dove and a lot of the other tall ships in the area is that crew can get through the ranks of newbie to the point where they're actually participating and even sailing relatively quickly.
As far as sailing goes, the best days are when there's white caps out on the water, and it's the boat is heeling, and that's the fun part.
Welcome to the Maryland Dove. Would you like to come aboard?
Yeah.
Very good.
Great.
Follow me. What you see here is the Maryland Dove. This is our ship, and it is a representation of what a small cargo ship would have looked like back in the 1600s. It's named after the Dove, which was one of the ships that came over with the first Maryland settlers. The Dove is a 40-ton vessel. There were no passengers aboard, 9 crew, and that's it. That's all they needed. The ship would be carrying cargo in the hold, but it wouldn't be carrying any people other than the ones they needed to sail her. The Ark was a more typical ocean-going vessel. It would have been carrying large amounts of cargo and people across the ocean back in those days. And the Ark is something that was rented by the Calverts to bring everyone over. Oh, what happened to the real Dove? Yes, very good. We don't know. The real Dove disappeared. It was loaded up with furs and timbers and sent back to England and never arrived there, nor did it ever come back here or go anywhere else ashore that we know of. So it either disappeared out at sea or who knows, really.
The ship was conceived in the mid-1970s. At the time, the museum was building its exhibits. It had really only an archaeological site and the 1934 recreated State House. A ship on the waterfront was a great way to start our exhibits. It is a terrific tool for teaching lots of things. The history, the story of the Ark and the Dove, the founding of the Maryland colony.
Now, colonists in Maryland, could they go down to the store and buy things if they ran out of something? They could not, right? They have Kmart, Walmart, and Target in Maryland back in the 1600s. No. So when they needed something, it had to come all the way across the Atlantic Ocean from what country? Everybody. England. Everyone say England. England. How did the colonists pay for all those things from England? Not with money, but with tobacco.
It's a place where we can talk about, teach about the hardships of immigration. It's a great place to talk about water transportation, which was crucial.
All right, let me get my 3 helpers over here and we will demonstrate how a chip log works. I became an interpreter basically because I needed, a job, and my friend Savannah worked here and said that was a great place to work, and she thought that I would be good at it, and I've always loved history and I love the water.
The crew, the people here are just amazing. You meet the most interesting people and everyone's so encouraging and supportive.
A sense of family and teamwork and friendship with the people here that I think I'll maintain, for the rest of my life. Just feeling like you're worth something and that something you do is worthwhile, because you just get a really strong sense of doing something that is important and matters a lot to a lot of people.
I guess especially the city kids, they come here and it's so surreal to them. It's amazing to have those kids here because they're the ones who really take away, wow, this is real, this is true, this is what happened, this is the way it was. And it's always good to have, we get that aha moment in their eyes, and they take that away and remember it.
Every day, all the way across the ocean until you reach your destination, so you'll never be lost.
Those are among the things we teach. Maintaining our ship helps us both preserve and teach the skills of maintaining a wooden ship, the hand skills, and the ways of thinking about materials.
My name is Kenneth Doubt. I am the Historic Ship Preservation and Education Fellow. As the title would suggest, preserving the ship. I'm doing things like protective coatings. I do a lot of varnishing, painting, oiling. But there's also an educational aspect of this. Currently I'm working on making a working demonstration of rigging, and along with that will be some sort of a guide as to how to do this that hopefully future volunteers and also visitors to the museum will be able to look at.
St. Mary's was the first place where they landed. That in and of itself is a really important piece of history because this is where it all started. So not only the Dove, but the rest of historic St. Mary's has a lot of really important roots from our entire nation's history, I guess.
The history of tall ships, to me, is very intriguing. There are symbols of exploration. There are symbols of pushing the borders, of pushing the boundaries, of going further than anyone ever dared dream of. That is intriguing and that's enchanting to me.
I think just going out there and being part of the modern world on this old boat, people take notice, and I think it helps with the mission of the museum and the boat to keep those skills alive and keep people interested in the history.
We're actually one of the few tall ships that actually let people come on board and go down below and work things, play with the lines and the windlass and with the rudder,
Right,
the
yeah.
tiller. Most other ships, you just look at it and you can't do anything. But I think maybe
that's true.
one of the crew members said we're an equal opportunity oppressor. We'll put everybody to work. So.
Whoops. Never mind, I see. Whoops.
Open the building out.
Oh, weird.
Swabbing up the deck, swabbing up the deck, swabbing up the deck, swabbing up the deck. I'm swabbing up the deck.
It's a very interesting group of characters. You get people from all different professions. It's, again, a tremendous learning opportunity, and it's just really enjoyable to work with a group of people and come together. It's the old teamwork thing when you get together and sail the vessel.
You can't hang out and spend a lot of time with the people down here and not learn a lot of things, because there's people from all different walks of life with all different kind of skill sets that come down here, and you know, some of the conversations that go on while we're working or when we're sailing really kind of worth the price of admission.
I think another thing for me is when we do outreach trips or have tours. I really like doing the grip and grant, as some people call it. Watching the kids, showing them how things work, the windlass, or telling them stories about living living on the ship. That's just a lot of fun to see the kids really get interested in it.
The reactions of the other boats on the water, the people on the other boats, that's something. You're always, I think, a little proud and a little humbled by people coming alongside and, whoa, what is this and how is it for you? And because she is a sight to see.
While the landlubbers lie down below, below, below. While the landlubbers lie down below. Then up spoke the cabin boy of a gallant ship, and a fine-spoken cabin boy was he.
Was he?
Well, I've got a sweetheart back in Bristol by the sea, and tonight she'll be weeping for me. For the ocean waves to roll, and the stormy winds to blow. But we poor sailors go skipping to the tops, while the landlubbers lie down below, below, below. While the landlubbers lie down below.